My name is Walter A. Waite Jr. My rank was E3. So I picked up the ship in Malta. We cruised around the Mediterranean. We had breakfast, lunch, and dinner. In fact, when we were online, mess halls were open 24/7. You could go down there any time of the day or night and get a pretty good meal. The food was exceptional. There was plenty of it. It was virtually all you could eat, but you better eat whatever you take. And it was great. I mean, my first few months aboard the ship, I was mess cooking in the CPO mess, and the chiefs at that time bought their own food. They went out shopping when we went in port, and they would bring all this food back, and that's what they ate for the next 30 days. And we were eating the same food. And it was exceptional. The chiefs don't like to eat cheap food. They frown on that. So yeah, it was good. In June of 1967, the Six-Day War broke out, and on the third day of that war, June 8th, we had a communication ship in the Eastern Mediterranean called the USS Liberty. On June 8th, she was attacked by Israel, and we attempted to go to her aid. We had about 30 newsmen on board who were reporting back to the United States the things that were going on with the Six-Day War, and also reporting back our non-involvement in the war. We wanted the people back home to know that we were not involved in the war. So they were doing all of that, and when the Liberty happened, those guys were aboard, and things started to happen. I remember clearly the announcement, now general quarters, all hands man your battle stations. And the first thing I realized was nobody said this is a drill. So I knew something was going on, but nobody knew what. And I went to my station as part of a firefighting team on the 03 level, and sat there for, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours, whatever it was. Washington tied our hands. We were not allowed to go protect the ship. We tried twice to launch aircraft, and they were called back. As we got closer to the ship, to Liberty, we sent helos over with surgeons and corpsmen to do triage aboard. We pulled alongside early the next morning, and I remember being in the catwalk along the hangar, or along the flight deck, and looking at Liberty and realizing this is for real. There was a hole in her starboard side that was big enough to drive a school bus through. She was listening to port about 15 degrees. The superstructure was burnt. There were 50 caliber holes all over the place, and we proceeded to bring on a number of the wounded and dead. The attack killed 34 and wounded 175, and it was just an ungodly sight. Seeing that thing, and especially seeing it in the Med where nothing was supposed to be going on. Later on in the cruise, we had a number of encounters with the Soviets. They would pull into our formation and harass us. We were followed by we think was a Soviet submarine. At one point, one of the ships pulled up alongside of us on our port side, not 50 yards away. We were eyeball to eyeball with Soviet sailors. They were taking pictures of us because the Russians didn't know how to build an aircraft carrier at that point. So that harassment went on for a number of times. The rest of the Med cruise was fairly routine. We hit Istanbul and Athens, Naples, Livorno, Toronto, and Genoa in Italy. Rota and Barcelona in Spain, and Valletta, Malta. And then we came back home in September of '67.